With WWE going into its summer months, it's interesting to speculate what type of feuds, rivalries, and match types we could be getting going into pay-per-views such as Money in the Bank, Extreme Rules, and SummerSlam. And here today, we're going to be doing exactly that, because on the Smackdown Live side, I'm going to be booking how I would book Smackdown Live going into SummerSlam. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, and the voice you're hearing right now is Joel Perez. And of course, we're going to be talking a lot about WWE and its upcoming feuds and how I would book them, because of course, SmackDown Live, you look at it right now, and the landscape is very exciting. You got an amazing roster, and WWE can really create something special, utilizing and capitalizing upon the talent that they had to work with right now on the Blue brand. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we do get into that, I just want to tell you guys to make sure to go check out all of the content on the Ringside Wrestling News channel. There's so much other content to go check out. And excuse me if you hear music in the background. My neighbors, they're throwing a party downstairs, and quite frankly, if that filters in, I'm sorry. This mic does a pretty good job at canceling out noise that's on the outside, but that's kind of loud filtering in through the window. So I don't know if you can hear it or not, but that is besides the point. Not going to deter me from making a great video here tonight. Of course, the reason we're doing this is because behind the mic, I cannot seem to find news for the life of me when it comes to behind the mic. There's news, but not the biggest news, and I don't want to do a behind the mic that's just going to be filler in there. So instead of giving you guys one video, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to be doing behind the mic this week, but this video right here, which I find actually a little bit more exciting and a little bit fresher to be doing, is going to be replacing that regularly scheduled weekend content. So the more the merrier. And that's exactly what we have this week on the Ringside Wrestling News channel. But as I was saying, make sure to go check out all the other content. Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live reviews are up on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel for this week as we speak. So do not miss out on that, as well as making sure to support the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Because, of course, if you're not supporting, if you are not subscribed specifically enough, I do not know what you are waiting for. Make sure to smash the subscribe button with everything you got. Make sure to put that subscribe button through a table. Throw it through the barbershop window. Throw it off a ladder, since we are going into Money in the Bank. Grab that Money in the Bank briefcase and hit the subscribe button right over the head with it, because of course you want to be subscribed to the Ringside Wrestling channel to get all this great content each and every single week, everything regarding the WWE right here. And of course, you can also like this video if you enjoy what you're hearing here. Dislike if you don't. I love to hear the feedback. Speaking of feedback, the best place for feedback is in the comment section below, or like I like to call it, the enlightenment box down below, because you can enlighten me just like right now through this video. I'm enlightening you by giving you my honest opinion, by giving you what's inside my mind when it comes to the WWE product, which I follow with a very close and analytical eye each and every single week when I watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, pay-per-views, whatever it may be. So make sure to do all of that. Make sure to support, because for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go straight into the regularly scheduled content for this week. And of course, that has to do with the SmackDown Live brand going into the summer months. So, of course, there's a lot of important things going on SmackDown Live right now that can give us pointers as far as what they're going to be doing going into the summer. But when you really think about it, they have a lot of options for what they can do, and they have a lot of exciting match types that they can put on at SummerSlam, which I definitely hope they capitalize. They need to use this talented roster, and they need to put it to its best use. And of course, we are going into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view on June 17th. I would classify that as the summer, even though the summer solstice is quote-unquote on June 21st. But either way, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, whether it's happened or not, is going to have a big impact on the WWE. Money in the Bank cash-ins are one of the most exciting times and exciting moments of the year. And of course, coming down to who should win the women's SmackDown money, or the women's Money in the Bank and the men's Money in the Bank. Well, let me tell you, I think somebody from Raw is going to be winning the women's Money in the Bank, so that doesn't necessarily have to do with what we're talking about here today. We're going to talk about that on the Raw side of this video, which will be coming out later since I am working on this one first. But that is besides the point, because when it comes to SmackDown Live, the men's Money in the Bank has a lot to do with what's going on SmackDown Live. And of course, I am going to be picking The Miz to win. That's who I would book to win the Money in the Bank because it makes the most sense. You want to position Daniel Bryan in a spot where by SummerSlam, he is winning the WWE Championship, or he is in a WWE Championship match. So the way you want to book him is that he's doing that underdog story, and he's finally going to work up to it by the time that we get to SummerSlam. But first, you need to put the pieces in place so you can get to the Money feud, and the Money feud, of course, is going to be The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, and you're going to find a way to stretch that into WrestleMania because that's where you want that match happening, so you need to avoid that being the direct result in the summer months, but you want to have The Miz as WWE Champion, and that is exactly what's going to happen by having him win the Money in the Bank. The Miz has a big future ahead of him, and him winning the Money in the Bank is exactly the way you want to go. There should be no other winner. There's some damn good candidates that I'd love to see win the Money in the Bank in that matchup. Samoa Joe, I would love to see win the Money in the Bank. I'd love to see who the hell else is in that matchup. I can't even think right now of who's in that matchup. Finn Balor is in that matchup. Braun Strowman is in that matchup, evidently enough. I forget who the hell's in the Money in the Bank right now, but it's an interesting lineup. It's an interesting lineup. But of all those names, we need to see The Miz win. We need to see The Miz win, and that's going to be very, very catastrophic as far as what we're doing going into the summer months goes. So Money in the Bank, direct result of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, just for now, is going to be The Miz winning Money in the Bank. Now, right now, something else is going on in Money in the Bank as far as SmackDown goes, is the AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura feud. Now, I hear a lot of people conflicting about this. What I hear is AJ Styles, well, Shinsuke Nakamura's time has passed. AJ Styles, at this point, should retain the WWE Championship. And I see where they're coming from, because if you wanted to give Nakamura the great title reign that he deserved, it was going to be winning it from Jinder Mahal at Hell in a Cell back in October, or even at SummerSlam back last year in 2017, and you could have had the same result. He could have ridden into WrestleMania against AJ Styles, except AJ Styles wins the Royal Rumble, AJ Styles wins the WWE Championship, and pretty much you're on the same path. You continue this feud where Nakamura turns heel because he lost to AJ Styles at WrestleMania, except then he's not WWE Champion. You could have done that perfectly, and it would have been better than the months of terror that we saw with Jinder Mahal holding that title. It would have at least cut that 1 month shorter, or if you would have gave it to him at SummerSlam, like 3 months shorter, which would have been fantastic. But unfortunately, that was not the case. So Nakamura is now stuck in this position where he's a heel, but he's really not going to win the WWE Championship from AJ Styles. Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying screw that. I want Nakamura. I'm still on the Nakamura train. If I'm booking the matchup at Money in the Bank, I have Nakamura finally beat AJ Styles, and I have Nakamura walk into Extreme Rules, the next pay-per-view after Money in the Bank, which has actually exactly, or like 1 month later. I'm not sure if it's exactly. I think it's July 15th. So you have 4 weeks of build to that. You're going to build towards the Nakamura AJ Styles rematch for the WWE Championship, and that's where you plug in Samoa Joe to the equation. Now, what Samoa Joe is doing at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, he can be doing anything. What I would preferably have him doing is facing Daniel Bryan in a singles matchup. You could give that 4 weeks of build, and you can have Daniel Bryan beat Big Cass at Money in the Bank. You can have Daniel Bryan go against Samoa Joe and beat Samoa Joe at Extreme Rules, and have that be the catalyst for Daniel Bryan qualifying for the SummerSlam WWE Championship match, which will be against Shinsuke Nakamura. You see where this is going, all the pieces falling into place, but that's where you plug in Samoa Joe at Extreme Rules, because you're going to have that Styles-Nakamura rematch. This is the final time Styles and Nakamura will be going against each other. You can market it as that, and of course, AJ Styles is at the cusp of beating Shinsuke Nakamura in whatever the type of match is, and Samoa Joe comes in and interferes. Now, the way you can have this be booked is you can have Samoa Joe say simply, I deserved that WWE Championship match against Shinsuke Nakamura. I deserve to be in that position. Yet AJ Styles has been handed opportunity after opportunity to go against Shinsuke. He's the one who's going against Shinsuke. Well, he's lost to Shinsuke. He lost when they were determining the stipulation. He lost at Money in the Bank. And he lost again at Extreme Rules. Yet AJ Styles is one deserving of an opportunity. That is not right. So you can go into SummerSlam with AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, which of course is a dream feud and a dream match, a dream rivalry that everyone wants to see. So AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, despite not being directly in the WWE Championship picture, they are in a high mainstream profile match which everybody wants to see at SummerSlam, and this can be a blood rivalry. This doesn't need to be something, and this can also stretch, if you think about it, past SummerSlam into some of the fall months as well. So that's what you're doing with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe at SummerSlam, and I'm not sure exactly who comes out of that match the winner. I would book Samoa Joe because if he's going to lose to Daniel Bryan at the pay-per-view, that is Extreme Rules. You don't want Samoa Joe taking too many losses. But then again, you can have fun with that one, and it's an unpredictable matchup as well because AJ Styles is taking a couple losses as well. Maybe this is his comeback from all the losses he took while losing the WWE Championship. But either way, what you want to set up for SummerSlam is dream matches. You want to have SummerSlam be this big pay-per-view. You want to put in matches at SummerSlam that are worth your time. So you already have Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. You also see the Extreme Rules card shaping up because Samoa Joe versus Daniel Bryan happened on there. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for like the sixth time happened on there as well. But from there, you move on to, or we're going to move on to talking about what the WWE Championship matchup will be at SummerSlam. And this is where things get interesting because what you do here is you have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan. And of course, that's a dream match that everybody wants to see. At this point, Shinsuke Nakamura has been your WWE Champion for 2 months. And at this point, Daniel Bryan has had time to be built up. He's beat Big Cass at Money in the Bank. He's beat Samoa Joe at Extreme Rules. I guess you can say he's beat somebody else on Smackdown, whoever that may be, Randy Orton. But Randy Orton's injured right now. I'm not sure what the situation is with him or if he's going to be at SummerSlam or not. So right now he's not booked. He's to the side. But that is besides the point because what you do here is you have Daniel Bryan at the cusp of beating Shinsuke Nakamura. And then out of nowhere comes The Miz. What you do from here on out is that you have The Miz turn this into a triple threat matchup and rip the WWE Championship away from Daniel Bryan. Perfectly executed, and from here on out until WrestleMania, The Miz is your WWE Champion. And what you can do from here on out is that you don't necessarily need to have Daniel Bryan and The Miz in a singles match together because you want to hold that off until WrestleMania. You want to hold Daniel Bryan having his redemption storyline until WrestleMania. And what you can do here is that Shinsuke Nakamura was also screwed out of his WWE Championship. But of course you want Daniel Bryan to be pinned. But Shinsuke was screwed of his WWE Championship. So instead of having singles matches between Daniel and Miz, you can also have Shinsuke Nakamura in the mix and make those triple threat matches coming out of SummerSlam, and that can actually present for some interesting match types as well. But meanwhile, you got your Shinsuke Nakamura Daniel Bryan matchup out of the way, and of course the build to these matchups would be absolutely fantastic. Moving on to other things that you can do at SummerSlam, and that is also regarding the Women's Championship and the United States Championship. Now, the Women's Championship, it's very clear what they should do here, and I think it's just perfectly aligns itself because at Money in the Bank, it's already confirmed you have Asuka and Carmella going one-on-one. Now, there's no reason, and I hope WWE understands this, there's no reason for Asuka to lose to Carmella. I'm expecting Money in the Bank comes and Carmella loses the Women's Championship, and screw it, I don't even want to see a rematch. I don't think anybody wants to see a rematch at Extreme Rules. You set a real opponent up for Asuka going into Extreme Rules. Make it so Carmella and Asuka have their rematch the next night on SmackDown. Carmella loses, Carmella's vanished. Screw that. I do not want to see her on SmackDown Live television in a prominent role holding the SmackDown Live Women's Championship again. You can put her in some side storyline. I don't care, but that's not what the hell you do with Asuka here. What you do with Asuka is you set up Becky Lynch for Extreme Rules. And or Naomi even you can do if you don't want to put her in such a big high profile matchup and you want to save a Becky Lynch versus Asuka for after SummerSlam, just to have opponents there ready at the helm. I don't know, but what I would do is you set up Becky Lynch, and actually this next week on SmackDown Live, Becky is due for a matchup against Charlotte. I would have Becky come out on top against Charlotte in that matchup next week on SmackDown Live. And there you can say, well, Becky has the statement of, well, I beat Charlotte. Charlotte beat Asuka. Does that mean I can beat Asuka? And you set up the matchup right there. You go from there. Now in this process, I would have Asuka turn heel. I would have Asuka become dastardly villainous, and this is something that you had the very, very, very easy opportunity to do at WrestleMania. This is what you should have done with Asuka at WrestleMania, and this was a missed opportunity. Just to go on a little side note here, at WrestleMania, you should have had Asuka after that go on an absolute tear. You should have had her come out and destroy anyone in her path coming out of WrestleMania. I would have even done that with Charlotte at WrestleMania. But, I mean, WWE missed that opportunity. Take advantage of that now. Have everybody fall in line to the Empress. Have the feud that is inevitably going to happen with Asuka and Charlotte happen at SummerSlam, and do it the right way this time, with Asuka being a heel, with Asuka being this menace who wants redemption for her WrestleMania loss. Asuka is taking no names. You got to build up some of that momentum. Have her run through a bunch of women. Have Lana step up. Have Naomi step up. Have them all be taken down. Mandy Rose down. Sonya Deville down. Becky Lynch down. And have Charlotte be the only woman left. And Charlotte at SummerSlam gets taken down. She gets her win back from Asuka. And now, coming out of SummerSlam, you can go into Survivor Series where Ember Moon will be your Raw Women's Championship by then, because that's who I would pick to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. And there you go. Asuka versus Ember. Rematch at Survivor Series from NXT TakeOver. That is something that sounds appealing to me. You can relive the great matchup that Asuka and Charlotte were on their way to having at WrestleMania, but the fact that that matchup only went 13 minutes really hindered that. I'm sure they can get way more time at SummerSlam, and so that's exactly what I would do. I'd give these women 25 minutes. They would tear the house down, and Asuka inevitably will get her win back, and she continues on this tear as a monster heel. That's the way you do it. And you know what? I would have Asuka create a new undefeated streak until she would be defeated down the line, whether that's at WrestleMania, sometime where it counts. That's what I would do right there as far as the Women's Championship goes. Now, with the United States Championship, you have a very interesting situation here, because you have a very nice-looking mid-card if you want to take advantage of that on SmackDown. You got guys like Rusev Day. You got Rusev himself. You got guys like Randy Orton in there, Ty Dillinger, who you can build up. But the most interesting name that sparks out of them all is Andrade Cien Almas. Andrade Cien Almas needs to become a major player over the summer on SmackDown Live. A major player that it doesn't really seem like WWE really wants to, or is too keen on making him right now. Things are progressing slowly on SmackDown Live, but I'm expecting that fully to pick up over the summer. And the way I would book it is Andrade Cien Almas isn't realistically booked at Money in the Bank, but he should be being booked at like Extreme Rules and SummerSlam. And the perfect place to put him is against Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. Jeff Hardy should be going on a hot streak with the United States Championship. What I would do is have him be the Seth Rollins of SmackDown Live, where he's putting on very good match after very good match after very good match. The way I would do it is I would do Jeff Hardy versus Rusev going into Extreme Rules. That way you have Jeff Hardy picking up momentum. I feel like Jeff Hardy and Rusev can put on a very good matchup. You can build to on TV by having Hardy go against Aiden English, Hardy enlisting a tag team partner to go against that duo as well. You can do that, and Jeff Hardy, that gets Rusev on television. Meanwhile, Andrade Cien Almas is going on a tear of his own. You've already seen him on SmackDown Live build up some rivalries against Sin Cara. You can put him against, Ty Dillinger. You can have him take him down. You can really build Andrade up. And if Randy Orton is healthy, I'm not sure whether he is or not, you can have Randy Orton be taken down by Andrade Cien Almas in his first high-profile victory. And that win against Randy Orton at Extreme Rules, whether or not Randy Orton is healthy, can set Andrade up for SummerSlam, where he would now be the number one contender for the United States Championship. And from there, you would have a great build between the dynamic babyface, and I always say it about Jeff Hardy, I don't know what it is about him, but when he's out there and he's doing the moves and he's doing the entrance and I hear the music, I just want to root for this guy against the just magnetic heel that is Andrade Cien Almas. This guy gets great heel heat. Zelina Vega is godly as his manager, and not just on the mic, but when it comes to looks as well. But that's just a little cheap plug right there of how great Zelina Vega is. But and you would go into SummerSlam, and that's another great matchup that you have set up for you right there. Jeff Hardy and Andrade Cien Almas. And that's another great matchup that you have on the books at SummerSlam. And of course, you can have Andrade Cien Almas win the United States Championship and go over in the next couple months defending that United States Championship and going on an absolute tear with that title against whoever he goes up against. Whether it's AJ Styles, whether it's Shinsuke Nakamura, whatever WWE actually decides to do. But in my books, he would go against the likes of Randy Orton, Ty Dillinger. He'd be building up a mid-card. I like it. Andrade Cien Almas, that's who I would put in the position of being United States Champion coming out of SummerSlam. Of course, going against Jeff Hardy and the likes of Randy Orton to build him up. Other things that I would do on this brand as well, I'm really not sure, but I almost forgot. I almost forgot the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Here's what I would do with that. The Bludgeon Brothers have been built up as unstoppable as of late on SmackDown Live. There's got to be a team to put them in their place, and you have the perfect team in store. They're going against Gallows and Anderson at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Here's who you build up. Sanity. Sanity has not been seen yet. I'm wondering, where the hell is Sanity? They haven't been seen yet on SmackDown Live. Well, you can have them be the first team to really give the Bludgeons a run for their money. Going into Extreme Rules, you can position Cesaro and Sheamus against the Bludgeon Brothers. That's another viable team who we really have not seen yet go against the Bludgeon Brothers. And by the time we get to SummerSlam, the Bludgeon Brothers, if you think about it, would have run through the entire SmackDown Live Tag Team division. At WrestleMania, they beat the Usos and the New Day. They put the Usos to rest for good at Backlash. Now you go to Money in the Bank, they're easily going to run past Gallows and Anderson, who really haven't been built up too much to begin with. At Extreme Rules, they can build or run through Cesaro and Sheamus, and Sanity can be built up over the next coming months to take down the Bludgeon Brothers. You can have them go into a matchup at Extreme Rules against the Usos in a sidebar right there. And you can do things of that nature. So if you think about it that way, that is your card, and that is your matchup going into SummerSlam. I'm saying Sanity is the team to topple the Bludgeon Brothers. Sanity versus the Bludgeon Brothers. They go over. New SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions in that regard right there. So if you look at it, the final card going into SummerSlam would be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. I would not book Miz on the show, by the way. You do not need to book Miz on the show. It makes it more unpredictable. It makes you forget, oh shit, Miz has the Money in the Bank, he's not even booked on the show. Holy crap, what does that mean? Oh, holy crap, is he even going to show up? How are you not going to book The Miz on SummerSlam? Then he shows up in the WWE Championship match. Holy crap. Then you have AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. Dream match right there. And Jeff Hardy versus Andrade Cien Almas for the United States Championship. Beautiful match that can be. That sounds like a freaking fantastic matchup. That's a dream match in and of itself right there. Bludgeon Brothers versus Sanity. That can be chaotic as hell, especially if you're having Sanity getting offense against the Bludgeon Brothers, being the first team to actually do that. And then, of course, Asuka versus Charlotte 2 for the Smackdown Women's Championship. That is a card for SummerSlam. And then you can have matches at Extreme Rules of the likes of Randy Orton versus Andrade Cien Almas, Rusev versus Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. You can have Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe as a number one contenders match for who's going to hold the WWE Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, final WWE Championship match where Samoa Joe interferes. And, of course, you have Sanity getting built up, whether it be against the New Day or the Usos. You can have Sanity against the team right there. As far as what Asuka and Charlotte do before, I would have Asuka run through Becky Lynch at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Charlotte should also be built up, if you ask me, because she's been taking a lot of L's. So just as a note to add to that, I would have Charlotte run through somebody, maybe even at Extreme Rules. You can do a lot. You can do a lot going into the summer months. This is exciting. This is the way that I would best use the SmackDown Live roster. That is my booking right there. So tell me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really, really interested to know, what do you guys think of booking SmackDown Live like that? SmackDown Live is very easy because they have a great roster. SmackDown Live is booking their television pretty appropriately right now, and things are looking good for SmackDown Live. Now, it's going to be a little bit harder for Monday Night Raw, and that's why I'm doing this one first, because this is very streamlined, this is very easy, everything is in order. But with Monday Night Raw, you got to put all these pieces in place, because if you haven't seen Monday Night Raw right now, it's a bit of a kerfuffle. So we're going to have to make it a little bit of a stretch to really see what's going on here on Monday Night Raw. But those are the 5 matches that I would put on SmackDown Live's territory for SummerSlam, and of course what I would book on Extreme Rules, and the way that I would make all the results go on Money in the Bank. So make sure to tell me, guys, what you think about all the information that I just threw at you right here. Do you agree with me? Does this sound exciting to you guys? Would you like to see this be the result throughout the summer? This can lead, in my opinion, to a very exciting summer of a lot of things that we want to see. So, I mean, just leave your comments. Tell me it all in the comment section down below, because for now, ladies and gentlemen, that's been all right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. SmackDown Live and Monday Night Raw reviews have been uploaded. Monday Night Raw version of this very video, how I'd book Monday Night Raw going into the summer months, is also going to be on the channel very, very soon. So make sure to go check it all out right now on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like this video if you enjoy what you're hearing here. Make sure to dislike this video if you don't. And, of course, make sure to comment. Tell me what you thought of this very special video. Because for now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Joel Perez of the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. And for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I will see you all next time right here on Ringside Wrestling.